Good morning on day 2 of the Fiji Pro event window, Monday, June 6th. Round 1 is in the can. After a tricky day of competition out at Cloudbreak, we saw some of the top seeds relegated to the second round, and we're anticipating a call to see if we'll get those big round 2 matchups underway later on in the call. But we have a huge show coming your way. We're going to have a look at the top performers in that first round. We're also going to see some of the low seeds who are on fire. And a little later on, Joe Tapel and Martin Potter are going to run us through the big matchups that you can't miss in that second round. Right now, though, a pleasure to welcome our panel to this morning's show. Ross Williams, a former CT competitor. Ross, how are you?
Good morning, Ronnie.
Reflecting on this event, Ross, always big moments here at the Fiji Pro. In the history of this contest, what's the one moment that stands out for you?
Well, you could argue it might be in the history of competitive surfing in its entirety, and that's Kelly Slater winning it in 2013. You'd have to say it's the best cloud break we've seen in an event. If you remember, kind of the hands out, that infamous barrel on the ledge, and not only was he getting some of the best barrels we've ever seen out at cloud break with a jersey on, but he was also spanking a lip upside down, some really hefty maneuvers. And so, in my eyes, that was a pretty no-brainer for, not only the best event here at Tavarua, but in general with a jersey on. That was incredible. That
was a good one. We've also got Strider Wazalewski with us. Morning, Waz.
Good morning.
For you, big moment from the Fiji Pro?
I'd have to go back to Owen. I mean, come on, 2 perfect heats, winning the contest. It was so great to see his form, and hopefully we get to see it again, because the smile on his face when we were doing the interview out at the post-heat, I cannot get it out of my head. So, Owen, hope you're back soon, buddy.
Yeah, some amazing waves in the event's history. Andy Irons was a standout for me. He won the contest back in 2003, surfing against one of his best mates on tour, Corey Lopez. And Andy's surfing, it's something that's kind of missed from the tour, that power, that backhand approach that he had, Ross. Pretty hard to compare that to anyone.
So raw. Andy never went to the shoulder and played it safe. He was always right in the thick of it, just unapologetic, snaps in the pocket at big cloud breaks, so definitely missed.
Hard to make comparisons, but yesterday I think we saw someone get pretty close. Jordy Smith had a fantastic round 1 heat, a lot of power. And when he's swinging that lumber around, that big, meaty board over 32 litres of volume in his equipment, he really does just send up a huge fan of Spray Strider.
Yeah, you know what? It looks buttery, like there's a nice little crumble lip on it out there to hit, but it was really hard to surf. Those crumbles were a lot bigger than they look on camera, and because of the stature and the size that Jordy had, I feel like he just powered through them and surfed really well, probably the best out of anybody going straight up into the lip like that. It was so hard to get these turns done, and he was doing them and having fun doing it, and you know what? Hats off. He looks like he's fired up and having a great time, and look at that hack in the bowl right there. It just feels so good to watch.
It definitely looked like the conditions kind of clicked for Jordy's heat, Ross.
Yeah, it was, well, I think it was settling for their mind, because when you're kind of confused, like maybe should I pull in? You start splitting your plan in half, but it just turned into that crumble where, okay, I don't care, I'm going to bottom turn and tag the lip right now. So it made it more simple, and I think the bottom line for Jordy is he has his best heats when he's enthusiastic, and you could see it. He was so psyched.
Definitely. Well, while some of the competitors were struggling with those tricky conditions, Jordy felt like it was pumping out there, and we had this interview with him just after his heat.
Oh my word, the waves are flipping cooking. It is going so bonkers right now. I mean, I'm mind blowing. All year I've been just waiting for some conditions like this, and right before I was paddling out I was like, sheesh, it was kind of lully, and then it just started pumping, pulsing, so many different waves, a bunch of sets, everyone was having opportunities. Sheesh, what a day. Flipping. It's flipping Rose, it's on. It's on. I mean, every single person on the island, Tavarua or Namotu are all loving their job at this point in time, so we've got the people of Fiji to thank, so it's been awesome.
Well, Jordy, we're stoked to see you in round 3. Keep up those great performances. Back to you guys.
Jeez, what a flippin' good interview. Jordy on fire yesterday afternoon, but nothing will kill your buzz or kill your vibe like a drop-in. And this morning, Jordy and Gabriel had a bit of a mix-up in the surf, and we have some of that vision for you. And Jordy, I think he's a pretty safe distance away from Gabriel, where he flicks his board out there, Ross, but still looked pretty chafed.
Well, it's no secret that Gabriel catches more than his fair share of waves when he free surfs. He's really frothy in the water, so he's notorious for paddling up the point and catching 100 waves. So the scene is already set for that kind of drama, that friction, Strider. But I wonder what happened. They look pretty heated right there.
Well, yeah, when the reality is, like you guys are saying, everybody's out there trying to warm up, trying to get their waves, but You got to have some etiquette in a sense, but I think that Gabriel gets so frothed out, he kind of forgets about who's in the lineup almost, and he's just eyes roll back, and he just wants to ride waves, and unfortunately might overlook a few of the boys. And
if you're going to drop in on someone on the CT, though, you don't drop in on Jordy. He's a lion.
Big knuckles. Yeah, I don't know.
Big knuckles. Well, Jordy had the highest heat score total, but the second highest heat score total went to Kelly Slater, 16.13, and his first round one win since Portugal last season. He's had a very tough year. It hasn't really flowed from that win in that QS event at the start of the season at Pipeline. But he looks super sharp against Chloe Andino, who had the third highest heat score total of the first round.
That's a crazy stat you just threw down there. I'm having a hard time believing Kelly hasn't won a first round event since Portugal last year, but you know, he has been on a shocker. He's been making some kind of weird mistakes. He's been falling a lot, Strider, but when he's at Cloudbreak, he gets really, really comfortable. I think he gets that mojo back. He gets very confident is what it is. So when he's bottom turning, he's 100% sure that he's going to crack the lip and make it.
Yeah, this wave had a good flow to it. Didn't have that like super bowled out section on it waiting for him. But he made the best of it. He rode it all the way to the inside, tried to put something together. Couldn't ride out of that. But this turn right here, you know, to execute, to get up into the bowl, this wave did bowl out, and to snap it like right there in that corner, so hard to do. Those conditions were so challenging yesterday, and you know, he made the most of them. He got a big score right here, got a 9.1, and really, you know, needed the score obviously to overtake Kolohe. Kolohe battled really well in that heat. Kolohe was really crisp, vertical in the bowl, and his waves were standing up. So we could have went either way at the end.
Yeah, it was a massive performance from Kelly, and that backhand snap, Ross, that had some of those shades of 2013 where Kelly was just on the attack on the biggest waves that he could find.
Yeah, Kelly, you know, we were talking about Andy Irons earlier today. He has that same visual. He likes to be right there in the thick of it, which is really dramatic. He doesn't go out to the shoulder just a little bit and throw spray. That's what Chloe Andino did. Chloe was throwing buckets. That's why it was like it could have went either way maybe, but you can't deny the fact that it's tough to crack it right in that tight transition out at Cloudbreak when it's 6 feet.
Bring it on. Kelly looking sharp. Some really big names in the second round. After the break, we're going to have a look at some of the tough matchups for our top seeds. Stay with us. Great to have your company, Ronnie, with Ross and Strider. This is Dawn Patrol on day 2 of the event window here at the Fiji Pro. Still waiting to get the call to find out if we're going to get round 2 underway. And we mentioned before, some of the big names are going to be competing in the second round. One of them is Gabriel Medina, relegated by Jadson Andre. who's only made the third round once this season. That was on the Gold Coast, and finds himself way back in 34th position. But he just found the barrel out there, Ross, when no one else could.
Yeah, it was undeniable for the judges. I think, this was the first heat where we saw actually someone get into the barrel, and he was rewarded heavily. We all tout Gabriel as being the guy to take this event out, and that's because he's so well-rounded, but he did fall on a couple waves at the end. He threw down some really nice turns, 2 or 3 big snaps with a bit of slide with the fins, but he fell on his 4th maneuver, and it left a bad taste in the judge's mouth.
What did you think of Gabriel's performance, Strider, from the channel?
It looked good. It just looked a little bit, just a little off, almost like pushing a little too hard, not finding his flow. You can see right there, his board skipping out. He's kind of really going after it, curling, catching a rail. Jaddy Baby found a couple open faces. This tag right there, right in the bowl to the barrel. He got the best little nuggets on the inside, came away with the win. Jaddy needed it though. Obviously, coming away from this heat, on the way out in the morning, I was in the boat with him, and he said, "You know what? I'm 100% physically, but mentally I'm not, and I need a heat win to get me there." And I'm just hoping that got him there, because it was great to see Jaddy Baby win a heat, take down Stu and Gabriel. And you know what? Gabriel's going to have to fight, because it's going to be kind of more or less a hard go getting into the second round here. It's not fun going through that round.
Sometimes when there's a big name like Gabriel in the mix, you overlook a performance of the third competitor in the heat. Stu Kennedy, I thought, surfed pretty well on the backhand, considering he hasn't spent too much time here in Fiji. He had a couple of big turns.
He did. He had that 7.5, one of the bigger waves in that heat, where just like Kelly did, he went upside down right in the pocket. So he looks very comfortable surfing right in the thick of it. And we were talking about Potts nailed it when he was adding his color to that heat. It looked like it was closer than those numbers from Gabriel. I love the fact that he was surfing risky, but he didn't have a clean heat.
Well, Gabriel loves to get those runners and surf with that real speed down the line, and yesterday it was probably a little faster, or a little too fast, maybe even for Medina. We'll see if he can bounce back. He's going to be up against Ryan Callanan in this heat, and speed might be on Gabriel's side, because even though Ryan surfed solid in the first round, at times he looked a little sluggish compared to his rivals.
He does. He's got a really kind of silky, smooth tempo out there. I like his pace. And maybe the waves, depending on the waves and how it looks, and him kind of, setting that tempo to the wave, we'll see. That's friendly fire for me on my fantasy, though, so it's a little tough. But you know what? It's going to be a good heat. Those guys both know how to do it on the face and in the barrel, so can't wait to see it.
Bring it on. Wiggly Dantes completely stunned Mick Fanning and Kai Otten in their round 1 heat. A good performance from Wiggly, who's having a tough year by his standards. Kind of way back in 21st position. This time last year he was in a great spot on the ratings.
Yeah, he was battling Interlude for Rookie of the Year. They just kept piling up 9ths and 5ths, but you're right, he has had a slow start, but this is his type of wave right here. We talked about it a bit yesterday. He spends a lot of time in Hawaii. He loves that extra energy in the water. He's very comfortable. And to be honest, maybe a little bit overlooked with how powerful Wiggly is. We talk about his cross training. He loves his jiu-jitsu, and he's got some really strong legs under him, and he displayed some crazy power turns yesterday.
We always talk about his timing, Strider, but I don't think he does put all that much grunt into his surfing, but this round 1 heat was different. He was really aggressive, maybe just figuring out that he can't flow his way to heat wins in 2016.
No, he really put some nice turns together out there, really pushing, and he's been, obviously stoked with it. He's got some good boards. This wave does match him really well, though. So, and it was, tough watching Mick. I wanted to see him just coming back lightning fast, like the Mick of old, but we hadn't seen it. Maybe it was just the conditions yesterday, just an off heat. The island of the gods over there, as Kieran would say. I saw him falling out of the sky yesterday. It was kind of tough.
He clicked on his last wave, a 6.07. Might give him a bit of confidence going into this entertaining duel. He's up against his roommate, Kai Otten. This is a funny one. The smack talk was on last night. They sat next to each other at the dinner table. Kai kept saying, I'm always in 30th position when I come into the event here in Fiji. I said, yeah, but you always turn it around. Mick was quick to snap and said, yeah, but not here in Fiji. It's not going to happen. Who do you think is going to take this one out?
Mick will probably get Kai, but especially today, it's rippable. It reminds me of like a head-high Rocky Point today. So it's all about throwing buckets and connecting the dots. And for Kai Otten, I would say if it was 8 feet and hollow, then maybe he could get the jump on Mick, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
I'm going to take Kai.
Oh,
I like the little crow guy. He's
Oh,
just
you love
all
the
up in
goofy
the lip.
footers.
The guy's been banging away. Looks like a Grom when he surfs. He's all psyched.
he's got to lift that heat score total up a little bit,
Yes, he does.
You want to put some money on that?
Okay.
though. Oh, all right. Stay with us. After the break, Joe Tapel and Martin Potter are going to break down the other big matchups in round 2.
Feels like my chest is caving in. This could be the start of a battle I will never win. I will never win. I will never win. You put your spell on me. Now I'm locked in love. Won't you set me free? You put your spell on me. Now I'm locked in love. Won't you let me be? Just let me be. Let me be. You know just how to please me. My chances now are paper thin. It isn't always easy when you're playing in the game of sin. In the game of sin. You put your spell on me. Now I'm locked in love. Won't you set me free? You put your spell on me. Now I'm locked in love. Won't you let me be? Just let me be. Let me be.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Dawn Patrol here at the Fiji Pro. This is one of my favorite times of the day when we really check out the huge matchups that are coming up in round 2, which is the first elimination round of the event. Joe Chappelle alongside 89 world champ Martin Potter. Remember Potts' picks from the last couple of weeks? We're going to go into some of these heavy matchups, and as we know, Potts, when you reseed the round in round 2, you get some of the top-seeded surfers right out of the gates.
That you do, Joe. By the way, I got slaughtered that day with my picks. So I'll have to recalibrate. But this morning we got some interesting heats. Absolutely. The first one we're going to look at is Italo Ferreira, and he's coming up against the wildcard Tavita Gukalau. Now that should be a no-brainer for Italo, but the way this year's been going, everything's been turned upside down. So I think this year we've got the best shot, Joe, at one of the Fijians making it through to round number 2.
Really impressive seeing Italo Ferreira. He's only lost in round 2 one time in his career. That was at Bells Beach as a rookie to Sebastian Zietz. It really doesn't happen. He finished his rookie year 7th in the world, now number 2. Really don't see in him not show up in this matchup, but it would be a dream run for Fiji to get someone into round 3. What's your ultimate result here?
Well, I think Italo is going to be a bit too strong. I think Tavita's going to feel those nerves a bit. I mean, in saying that, he led the heat yesterday a little bit against Adriano de Souza, but this is a different guy right here. I mean, he's on a roll. He's surfing really good, and I think the conditions today are looking right up his alley.
Big names come up quickly in round 2. Potts, why don't you get the next heat on deck and ready to go? World number 1 on top of the Jeep leaderboard. Matt Wilkinson takes on rookie from Brazil, Alex Ribeiro. Ribeiro, part of something called the Praia Grande Storm. They call it the storm within the Brazilian storm. However, he hasn't had a heat win yet this season as a rookie. Will it happen here in Fiji, where he's experiencing his first ever trip to Cloudbreak and taking on the guy that's on top of the world, Potts?
Well, there's two different kinds of pressure we're talking about. Matty Wilco, desperate to want to get out of this round number 2. He can't afford another 25th. Alex Ribeiro, he can't afford another 25th either. He's looking for his first win so far this year. So it's going to be a crazy heat. I mean, naturally, you'd think Matty Wilco's going to walk away with that one had it been Australia. But we're talking about a different beast here, Cloudbreak, very tricky wave. So I think it's anyone's game. I mean, Alex Ribeiro fighting for his survival. Matty Wilco fighting to keep that run going. As I I said before, cannot afford another 25th.
Really impressive matchups in the first two heats as we move on later in the round. Round 2, heat number 7, features Taj Burrow in a send-off against Caio Ibelli, the rookie who's on top of the rankings as far as the Rookie of the Year race is concerned, number 5 in the world. But it's going to be an emotional send-off. All of Namotu will be backing Taj. All of the surfing world will be backing Taj, former semi-finalist celebrating 2 decades in the world's elite, former runner-up in the world. Will Caio eliminate Taj Burrow and give him a 25th in his last event ever?
Well, I don't know about that one. You know, I think obviously Taj had a slow start yesterday. He's retiring. This is his retirement event. But Caio Ibelli, he's fighting for that Rookie of the Year. He's well and truly on his way. A couple of 9s thrown in with a 5th there. He needs to improve on that. He doesn't want to be in the second round, but Taj Burrow, no pressure whatsoever. He wants to go out with a bang, Joe. You know, I'm thinking Taj might pull this one out. But there's a lot of pressure on the rookie, obviously, to have to perform, to keep that Rookie of the Year race going. Taj Burrow, I think, is going to be hard to beat.
Big one there. Caio Ibelli saying how every day he's surfed cloud break throughout the last 2 weeks, it's been a little bit different every day, so he's going to be on his toes in that matchup. Thinking about another big heat coming up later. Kolohe Andino is the top-seeded surfer against Josh Kerr, round 2, heat number 9. Kolohe finaled at the Gold Coast. He's had a semi-final at Fiji on his backhand out here at rippable cloud break conditions. Josh Kerr, after winning the event at Todos Santos on the Big Wave Tours, had a very sleepy start on the top 34. Starting off with conditions pots,
Yep.
Does it have to be barreling and solid for Josh Kerr to win this matchup?
I think it would be better if it was barreling and perfect for Josh Kerr, but it's not going to be that. We had a look at this morning. It looks high performance like it was yesterday. I think Kolohe is going to be too strong. Looking at his performance yesterday, it took Kelly Slater to drop a 9-point ride to beat him. He was on fire. He had some really good waves, doing some big backside snaps. He's looking sharp. His boards are looking good. Josh, a little sleepy, as you said, a little sleepy start, but cloud break is one of those kind of waves. If you're on it, you can win it. It's a toss-up, but I think Kolohe is going to be a little bit too strong.
Kolohe reliable with big numbers this season, 7-5 to start, putting pressure on the 11-time world champ Kelly Slater as we look forward to some big round 2 matchups. We're going to take a quick break on Dawn Patrol. When we come up next, we will get the official call to see if round 2 will begin. We'll see you then.
Feels like my chest is caving in. This could be the start of a battle I will never win. I will never win. I will never win. You put your spell on me. Now I'm locked in love. Won't you set me free? You put your spell on me. Now I'm locked in love. Won't you let me be? Just let me be. Let me be. You know just how to please me. My chances now are paper thin. It isn't always easy when you're playing in the game of sin. In the game of sin. You put your spell on me. Now I'm locked in love. Won't you set me free? You put your spell on me. Now I'm locked in love. Won't you let me be? Just let me be. Let me be.
Welcome back to Dawn Patrol, just moments away from getting the official call. Ronnie Blakey with Ross Williams and Strider Wasilewski, and it's time for Strider to get all weather man on us and break down what's to come swell-wise. Strider, anything positive on the horizon?
Yes, a lot of pretty colors.
Beautiful, bring it on.
Now there's waves coming down the pipe. We've got little surf today. It's gonna, you can see the swell that is coming through for Sunday, Monday, which we're having now. it's been in the window enough to give us what we're going to have for the yesterday and today. As we move through the forecast, you'll see that there's plenty of, it's offshore, it's got that great trade wind feel. There's going to be nice conditions, regular trade winds, but then you can see all the pretty colors there. So that high pressure was kind of the demise of our swell right there in the middle between Australia and there. But then as you can see around the backside, the long range forecast, this is a big swell coming right into the gunnel, straight up to us, right at Fiji, which is exactly what we're looking for today. We're going to see the waves pretty much hold through the day and have hopefully some contestable waves out there. Hopefully we get this thing going. And then, you get the long range, which we can see that just kind of holding off through to a Friday. But then obviously on the end of that, which is pretty hard to forecast that far out, but there's definitely something there, and we can just hope and pray that that thing just comes up. We could have some large, sizable surf up, really big, solid 18-second period coming through that will put it up there in the 15-foot range.
The big advantage for some of those regular performers, Ross, looks like it might be taken away a little bit this year.
Yeah, it's true. But there is grumbles with a lot of the goofy footers, and rightly so, that, hey, we don't have a rippable left on tour, so today's your day. It's head high, it's rippable. You just have to adjust your frame of mind a little bit and, get away from looking at barrels and just hack away.
Well, that's exciting for us because we're going to see some big turns laid down. We did see some big moments in the free surf leading up to the call. Rosie Hodge, what about that scenario with Jordy Smith and Gabriel Medina? What was your take on it?
Yeah, there's definitely a bit of tension in the air. That was pretty unfortunate. I feel like, Jordy had been waiting a long, long time for that wave. Gabby had just paddled out, hopped on that wave in front of Jordy, so definitely a bit of tension. It was something to witness, but I wouldn't pick a fight with Jordy. He's pretty massive. And Kieran Perot, you've obviously been assessing the conditions the entire morning. Tell us, will we get competition underway today?
Yeah, we actually are. We're going to start at 8 o'clock, so really shortly. We wanted to give enough time just to make sure there was sets that were consistent enough to run heats, and there are, which is great. That longer period energy is really kind of filled in, and when the sets come, they're really nice, lined up, a lot more kind of groomed and walled up today, so should be some great heats.
All right, what are we going to start with, round 2, possibly going into round 3?
It's likely we'll just do round 2 today, but we'll keep an eye on it and then make a call a little later on.
I like it. There you have it, guys. Round 2 will be hitting the water.
Thank you, Rosie. Comparing conditions, Ross, it looked like it might be a little bit smaller out there this morning, but as Kieran said, the line's a little bit more groomed, and that kind of opens the door for some real aggressive surfing.
We had some really big tides yesterday. I think that's the main culprit. So, like we said, it's going to be fun today. It won't be, you never know. Sometimes it can click into classic cloud break on a whim's notice, but with these big tide swings right now, I think high tide was at 7:15. It's big. So when it rushes back out, then we'll see it really clean up and get more rippable.
Yeah, you just don't know. I mean, yes, the other day we were out for a free surf and everything changed within, 10 minutes, and it just went off when we were out there surfing, Ross, and there was just waves for an hour, and all of a sudden, boom, it just turned off. So there's so many faces to cloud breakers. You're out in the middle of the ocean. I think, we could be blessed with a couple of really nice waves today.
The first 2 heats, we're going to see the current number 1 and number 2 on the Jeep leaderboard, Matt Wilkinson and Italo Ferreira. Do you think we're going to see any upsets there?
I think Matty Wilkinson looked really strong yesterday on his, I think it was a 7.5, somewhere around there. I was really impressed. He had a few different maneuvers on that one wave. So, Alex hasn't really found his rhythm. I haven't seen like a wave this year from Alex, unfortunately, that blew me away. So he should get past Alex pretty easily. And Italo, same there. He's going to get past that heat.
Jeremy Flores, I spoke to him yesterday. He said he saw Alex Rivera get 2 of the best waves of the free surfing session yesterday. He said he had a couple of high 8s without the jersey, so if he can bring that into that heat against Wilco, he'll be a good shot at moving through. What about Italo Strada? Do you like his chances in the first heat of round 2 against Tavita?
I do. With that, though, we all know how good Italo is. We don't know how good Tavita is, but Tavita, on the same conditions, I saw him rule the session and just thread the barrel all the way across, and he's got a man hack on him. He can come out and lay down some rail. So he's not going to lay down. I think maybe he got his feet, maybe just getting into the rhythm, and then we're going to see him kind of come to life. So, with priority, maybe finding the right wave, it's a possibility that he could win that heat.
Well, the tube is the key for Tavita, you'd have to say, and that heat is just moments away from kicking off. We're going to throw it to Joe Turpel and former world champ Martin Potter for the call. Morning, boys.